Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Talk About It Thursday. It is April Halliburton here from Offer HR and Business Solutions. I hope your day is off to a great start. We are hanging out, just me and you today. Just me and you today, hanging out today. I hope everyone is well. Be sure to, if you are joining, let us know where you're watching us from. But we're doing like an impromptu today. No guests, just me and you, just kind of chit chatting about a topic that is, turn my little phone off here. A topic that we are all faced with. We are, yes, still in this pandemic. Of course, by now we thought we would be in a much different place, but we are where we are, right? So if you don't know who I am, again, I'm April Halliburton, founder and president of All for HR and Business Solutions. We are a virtual human resource business partner and consultant. Been in business a little over 11 years. We manage and consult with small businesses, 2 to 49 employees throughout the country. Again, been in business a little over 11 years. And this is what we do. I love helping small business owners kind of grow their companies, grow their employees, their workforces, and develop those cultures that are going to flourish. And so when we do that, we start with things that are really simple, like, the foundation of a business. And so that is putting those policies and those procedures in place and enforcing them. So we talked a little bit earlier this week about enforcing those policies and procedures when they're put in place. But that's essentially what we do. We are HR managers. We work with a HR management company. And we are the HR manager for small businesses that do not have HR managers. That's what we do here. Got some great things going on this month. We are wrapping up the year, so woohoo! Okay, I don't know about woohoo, but we're wrapping up the year, right? Getting ready for our next year for 2022. So, if you have questions on that HR plan. Where are you on that plan for the things that you've put in place for this year? You still got time to get them done. You still have some time. So if you need some help, you got some questions, reach out to us. We got some great things, again, that we'll share a little later on in the broadcast with you. But today we're talking about COVID-related workplace conflict. We all know that conflict can be good, conflict can be bad. But the thing with conflict is that how you handle conflict is going to determine whether it's going to be yield positive results, or whether it's going to yield negative results. It's all in how it's handled. Okay. Every conflict is normal. It's necessary in the workplace and outside of the workplace. But again, how you handle that workplace conflict is going to determine what kind of results you're going to get. So, of course, we thought we were going to be in a different place. I'm not going to say better, but a different place. We are in some aspects in a better place, right? Again, if you are watching, be sure to let us know below where you're watching from. But so let's go ahead and jump into what we want our discussion today. Okay, our broadcast is to help small business owners to kind of grapple with this the challenges that we are small business owners are facing every day in the workplace. Yes, a lot of companies have went back on site. I'm going to drop a link for a checklist that we have for helping small business owners to return to the workplace. And some employers are still completely remote, and some are what we call the hybrid, right? Some of them some employers are doing the hybrid, where employees are working maybe 2 days at home, 3 days in the workplace on site, vice versa, or some are completely remote, and some are completely on site. But in any regards, we still, whether your workforce is on site or your workplace is um, at home and you're at your home office, we're still dealing with these challenges. So today we're going to share some strategies, some things to help you kind of still finagle your way through this pandemic as a small business employer. And it's employee business period, right? But our niche, of course, is small business. So the good thing is we have vaccines, right? That vaccines are out here. So that's a good thing. The bad thing is we now have more COVID-19 variants. So we are still in a very difficult time. And as a small business owner, we're tired. Okay. We're tired, right? But we're forging forward, right? Because the most important thing is for us to keep our employees safe, keep our customers safe, and keep our family safe. So that's what's most important. Right. And so we have to do that at all costs. OK. And so we are going back and forth with vaccine mandates and things like that. Can we mandate vaccines or not? That the administration, our current administration, is kind of putting it now is putting the authority more so with the employers, okay, to where some employee, as an employer, depending on different circumstances, you can mandate vaccines. Now, there are issues, of course, with whether it's a religious matter or a health matter. You have to be careful with that because, you got to tread the line lightly, but you want to make sure you are talking with your attorney and making sure that you are putting the things in place that are going to protect you and your employees and your customers and your family, right? So as we forge forward, conflict is going to arise. Absolutely. And so how do you, as an employer, how do you handle this conflict? Okay. So we're going to talk about some different strategies today that can help you help you manage those conflicts. Conflict is necessary. Yes, it is. But again, as I said earlier in the broadcast, it's how you handle it that is going to determine whether it is you have a positive result or a negative result. And of course, we want the positive result, right? So the conflict, COVID-19 conflict can be very disruptive. Yes, it can, because we're all still very worried. These are still very uncertain times. And so the one thing that I always say, is communication. Communication is key. We can't do the ostrich in the head, which is the parable that I use, that the ostrich head in the sand. We have to be prepared. Prepare and communicate. Preparation is key. Okay. So as an employer, you want to make sure your managers and your supervisors are prepared, right? That they are prepared to help us walk through this thing as easily as possible, if there's such a thing. I guarantee you, if you're not communicating with your employees and you're not keeping your eyes wide open, you'll have a whole different result than if you were. So you want to make sure that your supervisors and your managers are prepared. And so you want to provide them with resources and training on how to recognize and deal with conflict, specifically the pandemic conflict. So there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be discussion about the pandemic, about vaccines. There are those that are supportive of vaccines. There are those that are not supportive of vaccines. But in the end, folks, what's most important is that the employees and your employers, your customers, and your family are safe. That's what's most important. I understand the right. I'm not getting ready to get up on my soapbox. So I'm gonna keep it to a minimum today. But because what's most important, folks, is that we keep our employees and our customers and our family safe. Okay, so that's what's most important. So you want to make sure that you are equipping your supervisors and your managers with the necessary strategies on how to identify conflict, and when doing so, how to resolve it, right? So you want to, first of all, you do training on how to handle certain situations. That's very important. First of all, remind your employee, your managers and your supervisors that they are models. They have to set that example, right? They have to set the examples of things like refraining from engaging in COVID-19 related topics and vaccines. Yes, refrain from those. And managers and supervisors have to be able to detour those conversations, right, away from to other resources and other discussions to head off conflict. Okay, so that's the first thing that you want to do is, make sure that you're preparing them. You're showing them how to diffuse those situations quickly, and identifying them and resolving them quickly. Okay, so in doing so, now more than ever, it's more important that your manager and your supervisors are out and being seen by your employees. Okay, not hanging out in their office all day, because if you're hanging out in your office, you're not going to see anything. How are you going to identify what you don't see? So it's very important that your supervisors and your managers are out being seen by your other employees, so that they are able to identify issues before they get out of hand. And then you're able to identify those conflicts, those discussions, and even it's important that your managers and supervisors are able to see if there is an employee who is perhaps suffering from some kind of anxiety or distressed, right? So that's when they're out being seen on the floor or wherever, they're being seen by the employees. Okay, so that's very important. Make sure your supervisors and your managers are prepared to diffuse conflict. Second, brainstorm solutions with your team. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Two heads are always better than one, right? So be prepared. Take that time to brainstorm on some solutions for this time. If employees are arguing about vaccinations, you want to redirect them and stop them from those having those discussions. Yes, you want to deter those conversations, but brainstorm, okay? And then you can come up with some other solutions. Provide vaccine resources for your supervisors and your employees. That is so important. Knowledge is key, right? Knowledge is key. Yes, I have my notes here. So make sure you're sharing those on the importance of being vaccinated. A lot of people have not been vaccinated because they're dealing with different ideologies, and they're going this and they're going with that, instead of doing things like following the CDC or things like that really are promoting vaccination. Okay, so make sure you are sharing resources with your teams on the importance of vaccination. Okay. Your supervisor again should be able to address that conflict, those conversations, and the more knowledge and information your managers and your supervisors have, the more they can educate your employees, right? So that's why it's important to share resources with your managers and your employees. Okay, a lot of individuals started off being unsupportive of vaccinations. And then once they learned that, saw how the FDA was approving vaccinations, they had a change of mind. And so are now being vaccinated. You still have those that are not being vaccinated. So again, I think the knowledge education is key, and educating your employees is very, very, very important, folks. As employers, we have to take a strong stance to the protection of our employees and our customers and our family. Okay. Make sure you have a COVID vaccine policy in your handbook. Okay. If you don't have one, drop your email below. Okay. Drop your email below and I'll send you one. Okay. I'll send you a template. So drop your email below and I will I'll email you a policy, a template that you can use, okay, that you can readily take and make it your own. But it's important that you make sure you have a policy in your handbook. I don't care how small you are, if you have at least one employee other than yourself, you should have a policy in your book. We're into almost 2 years into this thing now. Where's your policy? You must have a policy. Okay? That policies are there to protect you as an employee and employer, and to protect your employees. Okay, so if you don't have a COVID vaccine policy, drop your email below, and I'll shoot you one. Okay, how about that? How cool is that? So make sure you have a policy in place, and if you have that policy implemented in your book, your handbook, I trust that you've had a webinar or a luncheon or something explaining why this policy has been implemented, why you felt you needed it, and what's the reason for it, and what results you look to yield from that policy. Okay, so we don't want to just put policies in our handbook and our employees don't know. Okay, so we got to let them know, that, yeah, we've adopted this policy. This is why we feel it's important to adopt this policy. And this is how we are enforcing it and answering any questions your employees have about that policy. That policy and any other policy that you have updated or implemented in your business. You should do that once a year, at least once a year. Okay. And whenever you implement a new policy, you want to reach out to your employees and let them know the changes and things like that so that they know. Okay. So that's very important. Make sure that you have a policy in place. Okay. And again, if you don't have one, drop your email below and I'll shoot you one. No problem. All right. So develop a vaccination policy. That's our next one. And take steps to prevent workplace harassment and discrimination. You should at least do a sexual harassment and discrimination webinar or seminar once a year. You should do that training once a year. You want to make sure that employees are not being harassed because of their views. Some people, we can all disagree without being mean, right? We can all do that without being mean and disrespectful. We all are going to have a difference of opinion, whether it's the vaccine, whether it's the pandemic, whether it's who likes sugar in their grits, who does not, who likes sugar on their spaghetti, who does not. We're going to always have those disagreements. Okay. But we're all different. We all have our different views, and that's good. That's perfect, because that's what makes us, right? That's what makes me different from you and you from them, or that person, right? But we have to be respectful and understanding of each other. That's the key. So you, as an employer, you have to be able to view if these instances are happening in your company and resolve them immediately. Okay. Make sure, again, you've done that sexual harassment and discrimination training. If you have not, shoot me an email and we'll get it done for you. Okay. So those are our 5 steps that we have for dealing with the COVID-19 work related um, conflict in the workplace. Okay, I'm gonna run through those strategies one more time. Okay, the first one is prepare your supervisors to diffuse conflict. That can be a training, a webinar. If you have questions about that, drop me an email below. Okay, but you have to equip your managers, your supervisors to identify these situations and work to resolve them immediately. Okay. The second one is brainstorming with your team for the solutions. All right. And provide vaccine resources for your supervisors and your employees. Okay. Get those resources out there. If you need some resources, let me know. I can get that to you. Okay. And make sure you are have a policy in place, a COVID-19 policy in place. Okay, make sure you have it. Have the COVID-19 vaccination policy in place in your handbook, and it should have been conveyed to your employees. Okay. Yes, folks, we are still in a pandemic. Oh, let me not fit the last one. The last one is take steps to prevent workplace harassment and discrimination. Okay, that's the last step. Folks, we're still in a pandemic. We're still wearing masks. Okay, everyone needs to get vaccinated. We're still monitoring temperatures, and keeping a log of your employees when they come in. You're keeping that. Remember the log. I know you're still using it, right? Right? Are you still using that log? The log that you had for at the beginning when you were taking temperatures, or they're taking temperatures of your employees when they come in, right? And they're wearing masks and 6 feet apart. And if someone becomes ill, you are keeping a record of that. If you have any questions, folks, reach out to me. Okay. You can just drop a question below. I'll be glad to help you. If you watch the replay a little later, go ahead and drop your questions. I'm going to drop a link for returning to the workplace, a checklist, which is very helpful. We got some great things going on. We are marketing for the hiring your first employee. That's going to be circulating in a couple of days. A great masterclass or workshop, hiring your first employee. It's going to be great, $67. And you'll get all kinds of great resources and information and things to help you hire your first employee, even if it's the first employee is yourself. Also in October, we are opening up the Small Business Academy, the Small Business HR Academy. I'm excited about that. You'll learn more about that as we move closer to that launch. But folks, if you have questions, this month is September, is our problem solving September. So if you have questions, drop them below, or on our social media on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or go ahead and join our group. We have a Facebook group, the Small Business HR Success Hub. You can join us there, get all kind of great information. Other than that, I hope this helped. Let me know if it helped. Let me know below if it helped. I want everyone to have a fantastic Talk About It Thursday. Thanks for joining. If you watch it on the replay, let me know where you are watching it from. I want you to have a fantastic Talk About It Thursday. Okay. I'll drop the link for the checklist, returning to the office, and some other goodies. I'll drop those below. And tomorrow is Freedom Friday. So you know what that means, right? Drop your Freedom Friday question below. You drop your question below. Yep, right here, right here, right here, right here. Drop your question below. We select your question. You have a free gift. How about that? Folks, have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Um, wear your mask. Stay safe. Be kind. Okay? Be kind. Don't forget, business can be like a circus. Don't let HR be the elephant in the room. Until next time.